Hello. How we doing, everybody? Happy Friday. Oh man, let me just adjust this right quick. Hello, hello. How are we doing today? My gosh, you don't mind if I eat a couple blackberries, do you, on stream? I have time to have lunch today. How we doing, everyone? Blackberries are so good, dude. Oh my gosh. I was not initially sold back in the day, but ooh. Delicious. Okay. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh, how are we doing? Let me tell you, it's been a fucking week for me. You might say, hey, what's up, Nico? That's my boy, IRL. Oh, so I got a lot for you today. Well, sort of. We'll see. Here, let me put my glasses on so I can see. Honestly, this week has been fucking nuts. I'll tell you guys the story. I can't remember. Oh, thank you very much. I asked my wife if I should shave it off. I was shaving right now, and she seems to like it, so, you know, we're gonna keep it for a little bit. So this has been a crazy week. Let me, I gotta change up the song here. I'm going crazy. I was listening to this a little bit. Let's see. Shall we do, what's a good pump up? Good pump up song that I can actually stream. Gerudo Valley, but it's very similar to what we're playing now. Let's see. Let's switch to the Great Sea. How about that? There it is. I don't even know if you guys can hear this, really. But I can. Oh, boy. So, this week's been kind of nuts. Where do I even start? So, next week we're launching customization, Wiki, the roadmap. I'm really stoked about all that. The team's been doing incredible work on the Wiki, just really going nuts. I've been working on the roadmap, and soon the customization resources, right? I thought I would have more time to work on it this week, but I got this kind of crazy opportunity at the beginning of the week, and I'll explain that story. It's not tremendously involved, but the story is not. The action was. So quick version is that some of you might know that I have been looking for, is music playing? Here, it's pretty low. Let me, just gonna up it just a little bit. Great Sea. How's that? Beautiful. So some of you might know that I have been doing voice work for the past, I don't know, handful of months, 4 months or so. And my favorite type of voice work thus far has been, hold on 2 seconds. Let me get my little standing pad. Has been audiobooks. Audiobooks are really fun. It's kind of like getting paid to read a book. The pay is pretty good. And I don't know, I just like it a lot. So, I really want to do a lot more of that, but I've run into a problem with audiobooks, which is that you have to record for a very long time. And I live, in a condo surrounded by people in not the middle of metropolitan LA, but LA is a populated place. So there's lots of sounds that can kind of float in from outside. The biggest one is airplanes, but the airplanes you can track. That's actually not so bad. Yeah, it makes it pretty tough because I can't hear the sounds as they're coming in, and I'll listen back later, and you have to record, obviously, it's the loud Russian man next door. He just goes off sometimes. I wish I spoke Russian. One day I'll learn, so I can translate what he's saying. But yeah, I just won't hear it, and then, you'll listen back. You have to record for a very long time. It's not like an ad spot, like a, commercial or an explainer, where you just record for 30, 45 seconds at a time. And it makes it really hard to just trust in, the fact that your stuff is going to be usable. And I think that's a big mental distraction. So, I have been looking for solutions for this, right? And in particular, I've wanted to get one of those kind of vocal booths that you know, lots of different companies make, actually. They're like these sound isolation booths, right? Yo, what's up, Twiz? And, you know, they're really cool, but they're also very pricey, or they can be. I would say that on the whole, a good one is going to run you like a minimum of like $6,500. So yeah, in fact, what I've been doing is other freelance in order to save up for this, right? Like this was the plan that my wife and I laid out, was that I would do a bunch of stuff, and then maybe around April I could afford to get one. Lo and behold, fate had different plans. It was like, I don't know, Saturday, I want to say, last weekend, when my stepbrother, who lives in San Francisco, hit me up. And he is in a Slack channel that must just be something along the lines of, you know, local sales. And someone was posting that her company was liquidating their office and selling off a bunch of furniture. Turns out they have some of these vocal booths, right? And actually, here, I'll show you the one that I got. Let me see. It's kind of fancy. It looks like this. Let me open this in a new tab. No. Open image. There we go. It looks like this. This is the exact thing, right? So they're selling these booths that they have. They're in practically new condition. These things retail for $8,500. And the listing was like $2,500, which is already a really sick deal, right? Yo, thank you for 10 months, Monique. Much appreciated. It's a really good deal, and I was like, fuck, like, I don't know, for that much of a discount, I might be willing to somehow try and figure this out. So I reached out to the person. The office manager immediately hits me back with like, yo, just sold one of these, $1,500. I was like, okay. That's already $1,000 off. I'm not going to mention anything about that. It was a different lady than the person who had initially posted, so I was like, you know, hell yeah, now we're down to $1,500. And I was like, hey, I might be interested in the booth. Is it still available? And she was like, yes. The only one still available, though, has, excuse me, a coffee stain on the seat. If that's okay. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, I mean, as long as the booth still functions, that's no problem. Would you mind taking a little bit off the top, right? Like a little bit of the price. And I should say here, I hate haggling. It makes me uncomfortable unless I'm in some sort of scenario where people are specifically supposed to haggle. And even then, it makes me uncomfortable. But I figured, you know, here's like an opportunity to practice my haggling, I suppose. Because there's, you know, it's like not quite as advertised, right? I was expecting her to be like, if she would have said like $50 off, I would have been like, deal, right? Yeah, they do look, the corporate depression chamber is actually not a bad way to characterize it. I've seen a bunch of these, and they do feel like somewhat dystopian to me, but this one, at least, you know, it's got curves on it instead of just like a harsh square box, and there's windows on either side, so it lets a little bit more light in. I thought it was not so bad. Yeah, so I was expecting, you know, $100 max, right? And she fires back with, okay, how about $900? And I was like, okay, I gotta make this happen. Again, this is a retail price of $8,500, and it's like new. And I'm like, fuck, guys, I would really like to be able to get this. Yeah, so, yes, they really wanted to get rid of these. And there's more to it, too. Well, I'll just skip ahead and say, when we got there, well, I don't get ahead of myself. So, yeah, long story short, I was, like, sold. Now I gotta figure out how to get this fucking thing. What I ended up doing, I just, you know, went on Google Flights, and there was, like, a $99 flight, 6 a.m. from LA to San Francisco. So what I basically did is I popped up to San Francisco, real quick flight. I had reserved a U-Haul going one way, which was somewhere in the ballpark of like, I don't know, $500 plus gas, which is pretty pricey when you're driving that far. It's like a couple of, you know, maybe $150 on top. But still, that brings the grand total to like what? Like $1,500, a little bit more. So yeah, I flew up. I went to the hardware store to get a drill bit that we needed. My stepbrother very graciously met me at the office so that he could help me disassemble this puppy. And we disassembled it, loaded it into the back of this U-Haul in the middle of the Tenderloin in SF. And I drove it back down here to LA in a day. So that was Monday. On Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember which. Time is a flat circle. The boy Twiz, Tyler, came over and helped me take all of this stuff out of the truck. And let me tell you, in fact, here, you guys can look at it. You might notice it's a little brighter in here. That's because I don't have any, whoa. There we go. Oh, wait, there it is. I don't have any curtains right now. I'm kind of using this as an opportunity to rearrange my room a little bit. So you can see this bad boy just chilling on the ground. Now at least somewhat assembled. I think maybe it was Tuesday, whatever it was. Tyler came over, helped me get this thing into the room, and I assembled it to where it is now on Wednesday. And so it's just been like a whole fucking thing. We also managed to get, guys, the lady was selling TVs, like these $1,900 commercial displays from Samsung that we managed to snag for $200. I got a new chair. This is it's like a Herman Miller. Is that? Yeah. Herman Miller is like the chair company. This is a competitor to Herman Miller. I think they're called All Steel. The retail price of this chair is $1,000. These are brand new, and I got it for $75. They were clearly just trying to get rid of all this shit, and I was happy to take it off their hands. So, the end of the story. Yeah, I think they're done, Nico. I apologize. We cleaned them out. But yeah, you could pop up to Vegas or to SF from Vegas. Yeah, you guys know my back sucks ass. I've been sitting in this chair for the past couple days, and already I can feel a difference. I think it's still obviously a good idea to stand up and kind of stretch and sitting is sitting, right? But already I can tell it's so much better for my back, which is really nice. Yeah, so it's been a crazy week. To be honest with y'all, I am fucking exhausted. Just absolutely wiped. Move this over real fast. And in the meantime, I have been, trying to crank on the stuff that we need. Thankfully, the team and Lizzie especially, also Finn and 3D have been working on the Wiki and really helping me to kind of get that situated in time. I've been working on the roadmap, which I can show you guys a little bit of today, which I'm stoked about, because it's kind of fucking crazy, to be honest with you. I'll show you how it's going to work. But yeah, it's been a crazy week. The release date for all this stuff is Tuesday. That has not changed, and I don't plan for it to change. I'm trying my very best to hit it, and as of now, based on my scheduling, we should still be able to. It's gonna depend at least a little bit on what I'm able to get done today, and a little bit Sunday, and then Monday especially, and probably Tuesday. Y'all know how I do, where if something's due on Tuesday, technically 11:59 p.m. is still Tuesday. But I'm going to try and release it before then. And the plus side of a lot of this stuff is that it doesn't, but really just the framework needs to be there. The polish can come after. The wiki is already really nice. The roadmap is getting there. The customization resources are in place. I just need to go through and fill them out. And I think it's going to be really cool. Because, as many of you also know if you've been watching these streams, the whole purpose of all of this is to create a transparent pipeline for development, right? So you guys can see what we're working on. You can maybe do a little bit of patron voting on what we should work on next. You can dig through all of the documentation that we've created, both for the game itself and for upcoming features and mods and so on. I think it's going to be really cool. And just like, my gosh, the interface that we're using, I'll show you. And then of course, what I imagine is probably most exciting to at least some of you, we have a proper customization pipeline, right? no more moratorium on customization and suggesting mods outside of the suggestions thing. You'll have a space where you can talk with other Wildlanders who are as eager as you are to modify the list and create patches. Excuse me. And there will be a pipeline for anyone who knows how to really patch stuff and mod and whatever to, you know, hopefully, I'm not going to say that every single mod that people bother to patch for themselves will make it into the final build, but when people patch stuff, obviously, it really helps us to... Oh, shit, what's up, FG? I'm sorry, I can't even see that that's you, because I do this sometimes. Let me show you what it looks like in my wonderful restream chat here. Where's my screenshot? Okay, I guess it's not there. Look at this. This is what it looks like. There's your name. Couldn't read that. But yeah, it's, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm really stoked. And I'm really excited for how this also just kind of opens up the road to, I don't know, just to work on shit, right? Back to development. It's been, development's kind of, we've just been picking at it here and there. And it'll be nice to kind of have this stuff in place and have just a framework to work within to help us organize our own stuff. I mean, everything is iterative, right? So we've had a lot of this kind of stuff working or brewing for a long time, just sort of figuring out what works and what doesn't. And of course, with all of that kind of hindsight and knowledge and experience, we can iterate further and make it even better. So let me show you guys first and foremost. Now this stream's not going to be tremendously long, probably about the same length as the last one, just because, you know, we got shit to do. Yo, thank you for 5 gifted subs. Connor the boy. What is up? Thank you, bro. I did see you earlier. I hope I shouted out. My god, 10 gifted subs from Max Power. Jeez. Jeez. Yeah, I guess, well, so Lizzie, she's been doing real development. Like, full-on development in the interim. Just wanted to say a recent vid about goal setting, procrastination, 23 goals, or something that really related to it. Help me out. Yo, thanks so much, Max. I'm really glad to hear that. That's very kind of you to say. We didn't plan that. Could have fooled me, Connor. I'm glad. I mean, that's what all this is, right? I'm in the same boat as y'all. It's organization. I imagine organization is hard for a lot of people. I think it's also hard for just projects in general, right? Like, it's really, a lot of the kind of effort in this is really just like I said, it's iteration. It's testing, like testing what work. There's like you have to spend some time designing, right? Like, designing is a necessary part of kind of figuring out how anything's going to work. And you want to take the time when you have the opportunity to kind of, you know, readjust to whatever it is you've learned, does work, doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. But there is a point past which designing, you know, it's like you just got to execute it. You got to put a plan in place and then see if it works or not. And that's what we're trying to do. And that's what we've done like a million times over. And every time we figure out, I'm sure that there will be something about this design or this framework that, you know, doesn't exactly meet our specifications, blah, blah, blah. And we'll kind of address it as we go. But I am really excited about this kind of advancement because I really do think that with everything we've learned, we have a much stronger idea of what we need, right? Or what kind of benefits our project organizationally, I mean. And I'm excited to test it out. Yes, exactly. Just moving on. It's always that first step that's the hardest, right? I mean, it's an idiom. Finishing my furniture design degree. Yo, that is rad. Yes, it is. It's I figure for me, the way that I try to look at it is like sometimes I get annoyed at myself. I'm like, why hadn't you done this earlier? Or what, blah, 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 blah. All the different reasons, you know, that a person kind of can beat up on themselves. But it's like, that's just, everyone's kind of figuring it out as they go. Sometimes, I mean, just, we don't know until we know, right? And a lot of the time too, you know what humans are notoriously bad at is looking at the stuff that we've accomplished and giving ourselves credit for it. That is tough. It's funny how easily we will take the stuff that we feel we've done poorly at or could have done better at and kind of bludgeon ourselves over the head with it. I don't know. It's pretty nuts. And if you consider that doing something like that kind of can affect your mood negatively, then obviously the inverse must be true. I don't know, whatever, I'm getting off track. But I'm glad that was helpful for you, and trust that we are all in the same boat. Now I'll show you what we've been working on. So check this out. This is Airtable. Oh, you're not derailing, brother. Don't even worry about it. I hope brother is accurate. Don't mean to assume. But Airtable, actually, I owe Tyler for this one too. I think I mentioned in one of the other streams that I was going just through every different database tool and organizational tool, just kind of seeing, because I have a list of stuff that we need now. And it's really interesting to see all the different tools that are available. It's actually kind of it's intimidating from the perspective of like, wow, there's all these different choices and you don't want to make the wrong one. This is like an instance where I think it pays to spend a little bit of time kind of, it's like, okay, if you're going to do a giant like refactor of your project organization, or you're going to migrate from one platform to another because your current platform is not really suiting your needs, that's a big effort, right? So you do want to take a requisite amount of time to kind of evaluate what the different options are, what the pros and cons are. So I really tried to do that, and I tried to do it efficiently. And it was fun to go through and play with all the different tools. Airtable is one that Tyler told me about, actually. I'd never heard of it. Most of the others I had heard of. I'd never heard of Airtable, and it just so happens... Now, Airtable is really, really cool. I would say it was a toss-up between Airtable and ClickUp. So if y'all are in the market for, project organization tools. Also, honorable mention for sure goes to Notion. Notion is really incredible. I knew about Notion. I didn't really understand that Notion is almost like a website builder or page builder unto itself. It does things a little bit differently than the other standard kind of like database and organization tools. With Notion, you have a lot of control over like how you display your data, how you organize it, and I mean like visual control. It's pretty nuts. So I would encourage anyone who's kind of interested in this sort of stuff to pop by maybe like the Notion subreddit, right? And just check out what people have been working on. Yeah, Asana seems super cool, FG. I checked out Asana, and well, I can talk about why we went with Airtable, because it's a very specific like use case, right? So here's the thing about Airtable. I would say the primary thing, y'all know that the purpose of this, right? The purpose of this entire refactor is, it's like a pincer move. There's arguably two equal purposes. The first is to help us organize our stuff on the back end. That's just standard project organization, right? But arguably the most important thing that we need our tool to do is have a robust public display, right? Because we are trying to communicate to you guys what's going on, both what we're working on and what we plan to work on, what we plan for things to look like. Just basically give you a giant, like, cool thing to kind of look at, where at a glance you can tell what our plans are and kind of how we want things to go. And also, if you want to, you can kind of dig in and you can get as in-depth as you like with, looking at all the different plan features and whatnot, right? So that's what I think Airtable really brings to the table. I would say the differentiating kind of feature or pain point that it addresses really well is this public-facing interface, both on desktop and also on mobile. This was a really, really big thing for me, selling point. I'll show you guys kind of what it looks like. So here's what you are likely to get, right? I'm gonna move this over here with the roadmap. So the roadmap, this is the primary thing. This is Just obviously still a work in progress, but we'll use this as kind of like a quick example, right? So I'm also, these are called modules. I might call them milestones. I haven't decided yet. I like milestone because it's like a literal thing. It's like what you find upon the road, right? But, yo, thank you for 7 months, Corinus84. So these are like the fundamental building blocks of our roadmap are these modules, we'll call them, right? Milestones, whatever you want to call them. These are basically the updates, like they are organized into updates that you can expect from Wildlander, right? So each one of these little modules, milestones, is like a collection of mods, features, bugs, whatever is going into the update, right? You can see they are organized roughly. I mean, there's only like a handful of these here. But you can kind of see how they're organized. I can show you kind of the categorizations. I'll get into that. But the whole idea is that you, at a glance, with this is what you might call like the parent, the primary page of the roadmap, is these milestones that will tell you kind of what's planned, what it's about, what it's supposed to look like. You can clearly see here that I've done that with vampirism. Very easy to understand. And also at a glance, you will be able to see all the different stuff that's going in, right? The status of the various mods and whatnot. You can click, this is where shit gets crazy, and we're going to get into this. The UI, again, for Airtable is really, really fucking cool, right? You can super easily see what's associated with what, like what the connections are. Like if I go into Windhelm expansion, right? This will be collapsible too, so don't even worry about that. But you can see like all the different mods and their statuses. You say, haha, Windhelm, right? So that's how this is gonna fundamentally work. And the backbone, you might say, of the roadmap are these other tabs here. It's basically mods, features, and bugs is how it's planned. So here is the migration of the mod suggestions, right? So you can see almost all the stuff that's on the Trello board is now in here. There's some parts that I need to clean up. Like a lot of these still have the suggestion number like in the title. Unfortunately, the migration kind of put stuff in these like brackets, things like that. But you can see kind of roughly how it'll go, right? Oh, wow. This is actually, I picked this one by random, but this is a perfect example. So I'm going to add the vampirism module to this, right? Let's go into vampirism. Look, I can just go right in here. Module status. I'm going to put this not started. Module category. This would be gameplay and mechanics. These will be color coded. It'll show up on the thing. Release date, TBD, right? So from that, now click back. You can see it's updated here. Oh, I even get the little cover photo right in there. So when you go in, let's say, you know, you're going to check out, you want to see if a mod's been suggested or you want to request a mod for yourself. You can go in here. I'm going to have different views that are organized by modules, organized by status that you can easily click through here. But let's just say, you know, for the sake of conversation, you want to check, what is it, Dusty Vampire Dust. You're like, dang, that mod seems super cool. Let's check, when is this coming, right? So you click this, you'll be able to see what module it's assigned to, right? You can see all that stuff that I just kind of messed with. You can see the mod, the description. I'm hoping, now this is not something that's probably, I mean, this doesn't matter for you guys anyway, but I should be able to set up a scrape through either the Nexus API or through like our own kind of script to automatically kind of scrape data from the description page when these things are submitted. I'm hoping that's the case. I don't know for certain. That'll just cut down on our time. But that's something that we either couldn't or didn't do on Trello. You can see these fields will be populated because one of the other cool things is that you got forms here, right? I'll go into that in a second. But you can see who requested it, why did they request it. Here's my assessment saying why I rated it where I did. We've got, you know, our various tags that you can use to organize all the different mods the same way you could on the Trello board. We've got related mod requests, related feature requests. In case, you know, there's a mod. These are almost like a subdivision of the vampirism. A good example of that would be like, okay, what was, oh, I got one here. Headhunter. So Headhunter is a really cool mod that I believe is one of Jay's that basically makes it so that your bounties are not quite as faith-based, we'll say. You have to literally collect the trophies from your bounties in order to prove that they're dead. And there's additional features, super, super rad, right? So this is a patch specifically for Headhunter. You can see why we might want to associate those two. So if you look at Headhunter, bounties redone, right? You'll get the little description that the user provides. You'll get my assessment. You get all your tags. And you get to see right here, oh, there's a patch for it. It's already related and, you know, attached to the same card, right? And you can just very easily click through. Down here, the feature requests, what we're really trying to do as well, kind of moving forward, is where applicable, features that we add to various mods, which is just something that we do, you know, by virtue of working on Wildlander. Every mod list creator does this, where, you know, something needs to be adjusted somewhat, or you add something on to an existing mod using it as a framework. Some of that stuff is like not really a it's not a mod yet. It's like something that, oh, someone could do this, and some of that stuff you can release standalone. So what I'm really trying to do is in this feature tab, basically have requested features or features that we want to add that can be their own standalone mods that we can release onto the Nexus for people to use, even if they're not using Wildlander, right? This is something that a lot of the other list authors I think are much, much better at than I have been, that we have been, just because we've been basically trying to get our feet underneath us, I would say, for so long. But now that things are kind of stabilizing and we have this, you know, this opportunity, I wanted to try and do that a lot more. So I added a little field where you can say, hey, if this is a mod that is like one of ours, like something that we turn from a feature request into a mod, this is where you'll find it. Obviously standard stuff like attachments, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, you guys can see all this at a glance and sort by it. Like the sorting is really good. This is like, you want to know what the big like differentiator between ClickUp and Airtable was. I will show you the link. So this is an example of what y'all will see when you pretend this grid view is lower, or that it defaults to this. You basically have access to the same stuff that we do, right? So you can pop in, you can see the roadmap, you can click through to all the different stuff, same way I just showed you. You can see all these different mods that are associated with a module or a milestone, whatever you want to call it. You can click through and say, hey, like, again, this will be organized differently, but you can just like sort by all of the sorting options that are available to us are also available to you. And we will also be providing like over here, I can have several grid views that are organized differently. So for example, grouping by module is going to be a really popular one, I think. Let me go up to the top here. So this is empty, right? So we can group what mods are what according to what module they're in. This is going to be probably a default view. There's other ones that allow you to group by, you know, status. So you can see like, I want to see which mods are approved. I want to see which mods are kind of being considered. I want to see which mods have been declined. So you can do that too. I'm probably going to provide that one by default. And if one isn't provided by default, all of those sorting options are available to you. And this is one of the problems that we ran into with ClickUp, which is that like ClickUp has a really nice, you know, public facing interface as well. You do not have access to the level of sorting that you have access to in Airtable. And that was really important for me because I want you guys to be able to really dig through this however you like, to be able to find whatever it is you're looking for, even if you don't even know what it is you're looking for yet. Even if you're like, oh shit, player homes? Like that's an interesting category. I want to see what sort of player homes have been suggested. I want to see if maybe there's something missing that I would like to suggest, or like something like that. You should be able to have access to all the different sorting options that we have so that you can do that kind of stuff and just kind of explore and have fun. And I don't know, it should be fun for you to use, I think, at the baseline. Next thing, and really probably the last thing that I can really talk about, is these forms. So these forms are really cool. This will not be visible from the, you know, this area, but you can look and see, this is just like a standard form that I set up. This is the default that shows all the different fields. It's going to be a lot easier for us and for you. It's going to be a lot easier for you guys to suggest mods and features with these forms. And it's going to be a lot easier for us to organize them on the back end, because right now what we essentially have to do is like we have a Google form that, you know, like provides the information that we ask for, and then poor Lizzie has to go in and just manually enter them into the Trello board. It's not fun. This allows us a much, much easier pipeline to get your suggestions in, also to collect more information on them. Like, obviously not all of these fields will be available for you guys to adjust, but I think like having specific fields for like, what's the, like we have a separate, like if you look at how Trello is right now, I'll show you. There is, I mean, you can pay to improve this, right? But by default, you don't get access to any sort of custom fields. So what we end up having is like the description field becomes like everything, right? The description field contains like a description of the mod, maybe. It contains the reason why someone thought it was a good suggestion. It contains the link to the mod. Sometimes it contains like my own add-on to like whatever the description is. And then my like assessment comes in the form of whatever list it's in, which is like kind of, you can see it there, but it's, you know, it's a little weird. And I leave a comment, right, that is like, oh, this is what I think we should do. But then if anyone else comments on it from the team, like their comments, right? So the most recent one shows up first by default. It's just like not great. It's very confusing. And I really like having these like delineated separate spots for just the various stuff that we want to track, and just making it really, really easy to, I don't know, have you guys be able to see what's up, right? So this is what I've been working on. In addition to this, we have the wiki. I can show you guys the wiki as well if you want to see it. But this is kind of how it's been. Our mod update schedule for US read down us. Mod update scheduled for us. Re-download Wild. If the question is, do you have to re-download Wildlander with each update? The answer is no, as long as you kept the download archives from before. If you keep the downloads that you've already downloaded, the only thing you have to do is download whatever's new, and it'll do that automatically for you. I hope that answers your question. But yeah, I mean, this is the basic idea. And I wish I could show, like, is there a way to simulate the mobile interface? Because this was another reason why I opted to simulate mobile device in Chrome. Open DevTools by pressing F12, device toggle. Ooh. What the heck? Well, this is interesting. Let me see this. Okay, so if I hit F12, I've never tried. Oh, whoa. Toggle device toolbar. Wait just a darn tootin' minute here. What if I... Does this like work? This is really interesting. Wow, check this out, y'all. I did not know you could do this. So, I mean, this is basically your mobile simulated view, right? Yo, thank you, Liam. Also, thank you, Spy. Y'all are too kind. So this is kind of like your mobile. It's basically the same thing. Like here, this is let's go desktop, right? It's wide enough to be the desktop. I guess not. Maybe now. I think it's based on like pixel. Maybe not. Well, now it just thinks I'm in mobile no matter what. Let's see. There we go. So here's your desktop. Again, I'm gonna set up these like default views and things like that. But if I do this, this is really rad. Let's refresh. And I'm gonna make it a little bit small. So you can see it like defaults to the mobile view, right? And it's really slick, if you ask me. Like, I don't know, guys. You hit this, it just immediately shows up. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to use Airtable's mobile view is because it's super responsive. Like, it takes... I was working on the website and trying to figure out, like, embeds, and we thought maybe I'd embed it on the website for a little bit. But it clearly was just so much better to let Airtable natively handle the mobile, right? And it works the same way as it does on desktop. We can go ahead and let me hit back. We'll just go back on my, maybe not, I can't tell. But it's really nice. I'm gonna try and find one that has like a, oh look. That's crazy. Okay, perfect. This one, you can do the same thing that you can do on desktop, right? Where you just kind of click through Markarth expansion. It stacks on top. I can go Markarth outskirts. I want to see what that's all about. Say, oh, just go back. There you go. And you can access the tabs. You can access the different views, right? Gallery view. Whoops. Everything just kind of goes. The problem is I don't have like a back button for a phone. Please get rid of the views. I guess I can do that. Same, you get fucking the cover and everything. I think it's really nice personally. Again, these are not like the final views for all this stuff, but hopefully it gets the idea across. This is what we've been working on. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And I think it's going to be really cool. Let me bring up, let's see, what's the best? Let me do this. I'm going to show you guys a little preview of the wiki, and then we're going to knock out some mod suggestions. How's that sound? I love this song too. This is I saw someone reference Wind Waker earlier. Any Wind Waker fans in the chat? Any Zelda fans? If so, this is not exactly, you know, new knowledge. People do know this already, but if you listen to this song, in fact, actually the part that just passed, this is the theme for Outset Island, which is the big town, right, from Wind Waker. And the motif, the musical motif, is the same as Kakariko Village from, I believe that song originated with Link to the Past. It's a really nice little reference. Same thing with Outset Island. Oh, I'm sorry, no, this is... Yes, this is Kakariko Village's theme, because this is Outset, or, Windfall, not Outset, sorry. Windfall Island, and then Outset Island is the one that you start on, and that's Kokiri Forest is the motif. Alright, let me get these links that Lizzie got me. I'm gonna link straight to... Here we go. So check this out, y'all. Here is a preview of the new wiki. Ah. So this is kind of the basic outline. We are still, you know, there's all kinds of information to migrate and to add, but as you can see, it's kind of fucking nuts. Even already. We need to go through and, you know, just... There's really not that much that needs to be done with the wiki itself. What I really need to do is go through and add the customization resources and, you know, if we're going to move stuff around. Again, the state that it's in when we publish is not necessarily final. We're always going to be updating and working on this. But I think in the state that it's in right now, it is already, in my opinion, super fucking cool. It is crazy how much easier this makes it. Well, I mean, really for us to... It's kind of like the same thing. It's almost like the wiki is to the gameplay and the in-game experience, or even just the install as well. The wiki is to that stuff what the roadmap is to, like, planning, right? It's just a way for us to collate all of this information in a single source of truth so that you can find it anytime. You don't need to wait for someone to help you. You can kind of just go and do it, right? And see kind of what you need to see and figure out what you need. And it's just nuts. Like, it's so comprehensive. The amount of information that is in here is just, like, completely crazy. I mean, y'all know how Lizzie does. She's like a one-person machine, one-woman machine. But it's still, it's absolutely nuts to me. And to be clear as well, like, my contribution to this wiki thus far has been, like, styling. That's it. Even that, it's like a lot of that was done already. I've gone through, I choose colors, I choose, you know, headers and things like that. Even that, like, a lot of it, again, is just Lizzie anyway. Like, where's the, let me do, home. Look at this. Are you, like, kidding me? This is actually... Wow, it even does like that. I did not know that it'll do the hyperlink. So check this out. Like, slideshows that Lizzie has added for, like, the various player homes. Like, y'all just need to go through and see how much content there is. Now, you didn't hear this from me, but technically, you can gain access to this wiki right now. It may or may not be publicly accessible. This is your thanks for hanging out on the streams reward. You can look at a lot of this stuff. It is technically launching on the 31st. There are things that are not published yet. Go to crafting armor table? Sure. Let's do it. Maybe I'll search armor table. I'll probably do it. Oh, no way. You have the recipes in here too? Oh my gosh. And a little, a secondary search. Lizzie, this is absolutely nuts. You realize that, right? So one of my hopes when we built the wiki to begin with, or when we kind of proposed it, right, was to provide the opportunity for just the community to help us, you know, track the absolutely bonkers amount of information that there is to track. Little did I know that Lizzie was basically going to knock it out herself. Wow, look at that. Look how quickly it's just like, I mean, it must be just indexed by default. This is nuts. Oh, our music died. That's fine. Yes, I'm still watching. No, we're doing Wave Race. Wave Race OST. The jam. Ah, jQuery. Makes sense. Yeah, so y'all, this is like everything that awaits you. And again, like, all of this is built so that it's like, if you guys have a source of truth for all the information, whether it's, you know, in-game information, installation information, future plans information, we can spend less time having to kind of direct people around. If you think about it this way, like, think about, you know, just any one of us as, like, every single person only has a finite amount of time per day, right? And the more time that I have to spend, or Lizzie has to spend, or the support team has to spend kind of playing air traffic controller and directing people around to the various, you know, spots to find stuff, or in the worst case scenario, having to repeat the same information over and over, like, the less time that we have to spend on other stuff. And my biggest contribution there at this point is, like, I like to answer questions when people ask about, like, what's planned for the future, because that's kind of information that up until now has only existed, like, in my head, right? So same thing, we end up answering the same questions a whole lot, and I don't know, it's like, I'm really excited because I just feel like this will provide a really solid platform for us to continue development more efficiently. It's pretty good. Listen to this. Here's the jam. So yeah, I mean, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to hit me now. Check the final support page. Support page. Ah, the Great Wheel of Feedback. Classic. Here we go. Holler Live package is terrible. List is too hard. List is too easy. Wheel.jpg. Vampires suck. Chest loot is bad. Alchemy is OP. Magic's OP. Enemies with regen are too hard. Shit posting. NPCs are too hot. NPCs are too ugly. Night vision sucks. Asking about customization. Reading is hard. Favorite mod isn't included. Spell research is too complex. Well, it gets the idea across. So this is amazing. Liam, this is fantastic. We do share this a lot. This does really kind of encompass the issue. These topics are things that we hear a million bajillion times. Liam, Lizzie, 3D, Finn, everyone who hangs out in support knows that these topics come up. The funniest ones to me are the ones that are the opposite stuff, right? List is too hard, list is too easy. NPCs are too hot, NPCs are too ugly. So that stuff is a little bit different. But for a lot of these, like, enemies with regen are too hard, right? The amount of times that we've linked people to the regen tweaks that are already on the Trello, already scheduled for inclusion in the next version, like, it's been so many times, and that's just one example. There's a million examples of this where if you just had, like, links to send to people, or just had like a spot that they knew to look for this stuff that's prominently featured in all the different community branches, I just have to assume. And of course, it depends on people reading, so people are always not going to read to an extent. However, I do think that maybe this is optimistic, but I do think that this is the truth. I've been doing this long enough to see that this is true in at least a significant amount of cases. There are a lot of people who would be perfectly happy, who would have fun digging through what's next, right? What's planned. You just have to be able to, they just have to be able to do that. There has to be something that lets them do it. Anytime I come across, a new game that I'm passionate about, I love to check in on the developer blogs, see what sort of stuff is planned, read up on what the developers have been doing. If you don't really have, if they have a roadmap, I love to look through it, see kind of the direction that they plan. Like, here's a good example of one. Y'all know Bloodstained. You know that I love Metroidvanias, right? Roadmap. Ritual of the Night. This was a strong inspiration for me. Where Bloodstained, this is the Metroidvania by Igarashi, the person who is behind all of my favorite Metroidvania, Castlevania games, right? I want to remove the underwear. Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah. Well, customization, right? Lighting is too dark, lighting is too bright isn't on there. Yeah, you would think so, FG. So this is Igarashi. You know what? I actually am surprised that's not there. We definitely get that a lot. Maybe less than the other ones. So this is a very simple roadmap. That's the other really important bit, in my opinion, right? Is like, these are very similar to the milestones, where when we were sitting down and kind of figuring out what the roadmap should look like, one of the things we realized was that, like, and I was talking with my wife, it's just like, you have to, this stuff at a glance should be easy to understand. You can really get to these like crazy like if you look at, the default kind of divisions and subdivisions of a lot of like project planning applications. I mean, they can be configured most of the time however you want, but it's very easy to get like kind of crazy with divisions and subdivisions. And that's fine. I just think that, like, at the very least, at the top level, if this thing, the whole purpose of this, again, is to help people understand what the hell you're doing, what your plans are, what you're working on currently, what you've already worked on as well, what's already in there. So they should be able to do that simply. They should be able to pop in. It should be intuitive, like from the get-go. I do plan on like tutorializing the roadmap a little bit with a page on the website, right, that just kind of gives you a baseline primer for what you're looking at. But honestly, I think that it'll be pretty obvious even if you just skip past that stuff entirely. I think it's simple enough. It's just like this, where it's like, oh, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, what are we working on? Zangetsu. What are we working on? The randomizer. What are we working on? Boss revenge mode. Milestone 1, 2, 3, right? Simple. Easy. Intuitive. That's the plan. So that's kind of like the inspiration. But anyway, yeah, I love looking at this stuff. It's really fun to see. I think it's fun to see exactly what is planned, to have a better understanding of the vision of a project and to understand whether it's something that's for you, right? It helps you kind of, because your time, users' time is valuable too. The more easily, there's like, I talked about this like 4 streams ago, something like that. But I really, really like, when I attended this one seminar with my wife in Chicago. This lady, she's really rad. Her name's Suzanne Muchin. She started a company called Bonfire. I strongly encourage you to check it out. But she was talking about, it was like this how to perfect your pitch, right? And her example, the example that she gave of a person who with an incredible pitch was Marie Kondo, who is the genius brain behind, now she has like an entire kind of brand, but she's the creator of, it's like the KonMari method, how to organize your life, right? And the reason that Suzanne Muchin thought that Marie Kondo's pitch was so strong is because it contains this pointy statement, is what she called it, where her value add, her kind of ethos is so specific that it just immediately, you can think it's pointy like this. When you hear it, it immediately just sorts you into one of two categories. Either her stuff is for you or it isn't. Her pointy statement was like, all of the objects that you own should inspire joy, right? Because her whole thing is organizing, kind of not necessarily a minimalist approach, but a like thoughtful approach to organizing the stuff that you have and the stuff that you seek and acquire, right? A statement like that is really cool because it saves you time. It saves her time. You hear it and you go, do I agree with this? Yes? All right. Tell me more. I want to see what your stuff is. I want to, you know, maybe check out your products or your writing or whatever it is. Oh, sorry. Let me lower that. I forgot. Wave race goes hard. Conversely, if that doesn't apply to you, if you're like, no, I don't agree with that. If you're like some kind of, I don't know, crazy collector, you're like, well, I guess that would still apply. Whatever, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't apply to you, you know it immediately and you can go, okay, see ya. And now you're not wasting time kind of still evaluating, and she's not wasting time trying to pitch to someone who's not interested, who it doesn't apply to, right? It's the same basic idea for a roadmap, I think. You want to be able to see what people are working on so that you can go, okay, now I have a sense of kind of what this deal is or where it's going, right? And I don't have to wonder, and I can just decide based on that. The second thing that's really cool about a roadmap, I think, is that it shows, like, I don't know, that a project has a vision behind it, that people care about it. Someone cared enough to put something like that together. I think a lot of that stuff, this is the kind of thing I see a lot from companies at the level of, say, Valve, right? There's just so much kind of love and care that is evident in a lot of the stuff that they make. And I really like that. I don't know. It's hard to kind of maybe explain what I'm talking about. I'm rambling too much, but if you've interacted with their products and with their interfaces and with their user experiences, you know what I mean, or hopefully you do. It's just, it's evident that someone gives a shit, right? It's kind of like a good way of putting it is, I think the YouTuber Taki Udon, who covers like handheld devices, right? When he was reviewing, yeah, it was him. When he was reviewing, the Steam Deck, one of the things that he said, and I think this is such a strong point in favor, and this actually mirrors what we've tried to do with Wildlander for sure, is that the Steam Deck, right? There's so many, it's really cool. As someone who loves kind of like retro devices and handheld devices, it's been so cool to see over like the past 3 years. I know seems like a tangent. It is, but I promise it relates. It's been so cool to see over the past 3 years how the competition has grown in this space, right? Now that the technology has advanced enough to start allowing us to do crazy stuff. So there are lots of competitors to the Steam Deck. You have Aya Neo, you have Odin, you have Anbernic, who's still in kind of the, you know, aiming for like the retro crowd. You have all these different manufacturers who are all producing these super cool devices. And a lot of them do things in certain areas arguably better than the Steam Deck, right? The Steam Deck is not the most powerful thing out there. That probably goes to the Aya Neo, or I think we would go to the Aya Neo, or even, you know, GPD Windows, whatever. I don't know where it is now, but something. I know it's not the most powerful. It doesn't have the highest battery life of everything. Some people prefer the layout of other things, right? Some people prefer a layout that's more customizable, and Steam Deck's, you know, fairly locked in its like chassis. Whatever it is. These are just kind of random examples. What Steam Deck does is it does all of these things very, very well. And it's, even if there are devices out there that do some of these things a little bit better, it does all of them really well. And it is a polished, self-contained user experience that obviously they have put so much time and effort into designing, testing, iterating, making it a positive, smooth experience for the user in the vast majority of cases, so that even if those other devices who are its competition do certain things a little bit better, what Taki said, and I think this is a great way to put it, is that when you're using the Steam Deck, it feels like you're using the winning team or something like that, I believe is the expression that he used. You know this thing has people who care about it. You know that there's huge investment by a big company that is really paying attention and really focusing on making this experience good. You know that there's an entity that has the resources and the intent to make it awesome and to continue improving on it. It's a fancy way of saying it's getting hella support. People are thinking about it and how to make it awesome. That is what I kind of strive to emulate and to do. Like, I want people obviously there's always a million ways to improve, and you can see some of the ways like we plan on improving our own value proposition. The value proposition is a great way to put it too. When people play Wildlander, I want the love and the care and the polish and the detail and just the overall user experience. I want the consistency of that experience and the care that's been poured into it to be palpable from the moment you start interacting with the brand, right? From the website to the installation process to the launcher to when you fire it up for the first time to when you start your first new game to when you hop in and go, oh my god, this game's hard, and then you go to the wiki, right? At each of these steps, it should be palpable, like viscerally palpable to you that people behind this care, that they give a shit, and that they're working on it, and that they have plans, and they're listening, and all the other stuff. And I'm hoping that this will all help, further that feeling. I'm proud of what we've done thus far. I think that there's still, a lot of what we're doing here is like where I've felt we had so much area to improve. So personally, I'm really stoked about this stuff. It's been a long time coming. Again, this is all iterative based on what we've learned I've been working on this project, if you count Ultimate Skyrim. I've been working on this project for 6 years now, I want to say. 7 maybe. Most of the team, our current team, has been working on this for, God, at least 4. Probably the most senior at this point is Finn in terms of time. But like our team has been, we have a dedicated team who's been working on this for like forever. Just, I don't know. It's nuts. And I hope that comes across in the experience. I'm excited to do all this shit. And there's my pitch, my spiel. Let's go back to the wiki because it's fun. What time is it? 2:44? Fuck me. All right. Let's give it 20 minutes. How many can we get done in 20 minutes, y'all? Place your bets. I won't start. Liam's got sub 8. Who's this? Is that Nichols? 5? These are sensible. Depends which ones you pick. Okay, how about this? Lizzie, how about this? Give me... So you say 10. Lunar Contact's got 2. Lizzie, we'll do it this way. You use a random number generator. I don't know how many are in here. We can find out. Filter. Say, 40 cards. Pop a random number generator if you feel like it. Or I can do it. I'll just do it so you don't have to do it. You have to do enough already. Random number generator. 1 to 40. So this way I can't cheat. We have an equal chance to get any of the ones that are there, right? Don't forget the ones from staff. That is true. I can add that on. Staff, staff is easy though. Staff, I usually, almost everything you guys suggest, I end up. You do count, but that would be cheating, in my opinion, because almost everything I end up accepting from the staff. All right, y'all. 29. Starting now. Get your bets in. If you haven't already. I gotta close all these things. Look at that bad boy. Beautiful. No, I need you. Get rid of you. You. All this. Keep that. Get Twitter out of here. Wave Race we gotta keep. We got any Wave Race fans? Excuse me. They are quick. All right, here we go. Get rid of the filter. Whoops. 29. Oh man, I gotta count down. Go 40, 39, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 29. Simple taxes. Oh shit. Simple taxes is... We used to use this. When's the last time this got an update? Let's see. I know how to evaluate this one. I'll say... I'm calling these ones considering now. I'll do that. Simple taxes. Actually here. We actually used to use simple taxes on Alt Sky back in the day. I opted to, or out of including it while building Wildlander because I wanted a more occasional solution like taxes 9 holds. But say I will, it's possible, does certain things we need though, so I'll evaluate it alongside the other tax mods when we do the economy milestone. Perfect. I want to move it to, everything's going into migrate to roadmap, right? Oops, thank you, Trello. Don't miss that. Chill. And then I can assign labels here because they are the same. So economy. Probably hard mode, I think is fair to assign there. And then taxes of the 9 holds. Do we have that on here? That one we need to do. Taxes. Simple taxes. Oh, that's it, huh? Alright, well, I'll suggest that one myself. Oh, gotta gamify it. Love Tony Hawk's. I can't play a lot of the Tony Hawk songs because I'll get demonetized. I swear, it seems like I get demonetized most of the time anyway. Okay. Oh, has it been bugging out? Oh, FLP. Yeah, most definitely. Alright, there's one. Alright, next. 21. Question. Well, yeah, I guess it's based on the existing number, so I should be lowering this each time. But that's a lot of work. I'll do it if it becomes a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're at 39. Then this should be it, I think. Optimize scripts for XPMSC. Ooh, what the hell? Yo, what? That's the sound that plays when you lose, if you guys could hear that. What the French toast? Wow. Whoa, where do you get this fucking visualizer? Damn, I should fucking yeet XPMSC. Do we even need it anymore? Right, or like the scripts part. What are the scripts for? I can't remember. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, okay. That's what I'll put then. I'll say, considering if we are still using the XPMSC scripts, then it would be a for sure add, but I don't think we are anymore. We'll double check. Listen to that Bossa Nova. How about, would this be Bossa Nova? This would be performance improvement and fucking be animations and skeleton. We got I think that honestly, you could call it a bug fix. Why not? To migrate. Oops, I forgot. It's been a while. All right, there's 2. All right, 38. Gimme. 37. Easy. Markarth Mossy AF. Ooh, interesting. GG unit. Oh. Oh, wow, this is actually kind of nice. Greener moss derelict. So is this just adding moss to stuff? Yeah, okay, so it looks like it's adding the moss and the... So is it a lightweight visual overhaul? That really... Most assets have been replaced with mossy counter untouched. Okay. Okay, interesting. So it also reduces a lot of stuff. So my worry with this would be that adding... So stuff like this always kind of gets to me because it's like, why would these vines be there? They would be trampled on like a bunch. So you'd have to like fix that up. But, and my other worry, sorry, would be the addition of a ton more draw calls because these are, you know, objects that need shaders and stuff applied to them. So I'm going to call this considering. I worry that adding all of these objects might have a negative impact on performance and would need to evaluate for sure. I'm also not entirely convinced I prefer the mossy aesthetic. However, a lot of these shots do look amazing, and unit also removed a bunch of other pre-existing foliage, which may help offset any performance problems. We'll test. Say labels. We go environment visuals, and we got Markarth. And let's say Ultra as well. Yes, all of the cities are draw call hell. And that's gonna be a module is going through and basically bringing them back down to baseline. All right, chill. Here's 3. We did it. How about that? 37. We still got time. Oh, wow. Number 1. Animated Ivy. How about that? Ooh. I imagine it's tough for an image to do this job. Well, you thought I was done abusing the game's leaf anim function. Ah. So this one's going to be a maybe for sure. Mari's Flora. Base object swapper. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to call this one... I've been calling the questionable unlikely now. Oh, I made Nexus take a shit. Or it's just a heavy image. So the leaf animation, it actually does not look so bad with the ivy, but I don't like the default leaf animation for a lot of models, so I'll call it considering instead of, I mean, it's worth at least hopping in game and checking it out. But considering, I usually shy away from the vanilla leaf animation shader thing, but ivy might actually be the perfect use case for it. We'll evaluate at least. Alright, I'm going to do environment visuals and probably... I don't know if there's additional performance, but maybe ultra only. There, that one was easy. That's 4. Right? Nice. Random.org. Okay, 27. So I can count down. I need 9. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sons of Skyrim. Is this one not already on there? Maybe not. Oh, these are nice. What? These look like higher fidelity than usual. Is this not there? There's another mod called Sons of Skyrim. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Sons of Scrim. Sons of Shrim. Anyone see the Tim and Eric movie? Oh wow, this really a lot of stuff shows up. Oh, it's in the compilation. Say Filth Nordwar. Let's see here. Total armor and weapon compilation. This one might not have it in there because unless this is a different compilation. Because this one's released in May. Posts. An owl patch. Huh. Well, either way, I'm going to say approved tentatively. This does not seem to be... What's up, Lizzie? In the Nordwar compilation. Oh, whoops. Good call. Oopsie. Get out of here. Where was it? Sons of Skyrim. Boom. The models are dank, so we'll add. Maybe we should add the others individually as well if the compilation is no longer getting updates. Nice. Migrate to roadmap. Labels. New items. I think that'll be it, right? Wrong tab. Bucket. Yeah, this is... Lizzie can put another... Y'all know this already? Lizzie follows me around with a bucket for mistakes that I make. Alright, chill. That's 5. We got some time. I understand what you're doing. Don't you have to update the bash and smash patches? Yes. Also, Lunar Contact, this is, anything that I add, you know, is integrated and evaluated for conflicts, etc., etc. I wouldn't be doing that right now. This is just, me mapping this for what's going to happen later. Alright, generate. 22. I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22. Recommend burst signs redone. Oh, interesting. Nox crab tweaks. Light and simple burst sign. Let's say, considering burst signs are a big area of contention. Obviously, so every option has to be evaluated carefully. But this is Nox Crab we're talking about, so quality is guaranteed, and I'm stoked to dive in. Labels, birth signs. Nice. I'm assuming this will probably be new spells and powers too. Burst signs redone. Choose burst sign as a blah 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 blah. Burst sign. Cool. Articles page. Cool. It's good documentation. Did I go? Oh, burst signs redone. 3 o'clock. I was gonna go until 5 after. Let's see. I just want to look at these. Just a quick little. Nice. I can see that it's built on passives, which is really how I'd like to do these. Alright, cool. I'm going to say new spells and powers. New spells and powers. Boom. Migrate to roadmap. That makes 6. Right? I'm going to do 5 more minutes. 4 more minutes. Oh yeah, most definitely other token. Oh, I think he got 22 again. Wow, what are the chances? I guess 1 in 34. Well, no, it's factorial, right? Math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Seeking out sneaks. I love the in-joke / meme of naming everything SOS. I hope it, yeah, I was gonna say this must be, oh no, it's fucking, what is AIX? I don't know how to pronounce AIX, but AIX is a friend of the project for sure. Or at least I hope that he would accept that billing. Sneaking is fun, simplistic enemy behaviors. You don't really. Whoa, what the hell? Did you redo sneaking, bro? What? Whoa! I was gonna say this is wanking Skeever's branding. Hilarious. What? Oh, interesting. That's easy to fix. Well, that's fucking cool. I'm gonna say approved, assuming it works as advertised. So fucking cool. Though I imagine it also needs patching for individual dungeons, which is something we'll have to keep in mind pretty well. Boom, baby. This would be stealth and thievery. AI and reactivity. Shit. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna say, oh, Diddy Kong Racing, baby. Now that's a game. Seeking out sneaks. I mean, that's good enough, I'd say. Boom. What's my jam? Why did this come up? Maybe because rare? Alright, I can do maybe one more. 33. Generate. 28. Okay. 33, 2, 1, 0, 9, 8. Windhelm Fence 3D. Oh, let's see. Oh, this is an easy one. Yeah. I'm gonna say approved, assuming draw calls are not bonkers. But this is Skeever, so guaranteed he's aware. Boom. Labels. This is in object visuals, I would say. Windhelm. I say bug fixes too. The other one looks like crap. It's got the improper UV mapping and everything. Everyone knows this. Boom. There we go. That still counts. That's 32. Sorry, 8. I got 8. Thank you, Kai. Everyone, you're all very kind for the mustache comments. Someone needs to come along and be like, yo, your mustache is shit. Balance it out. Alright, y'all. Well, that's time. We got 8. Who had 8? Someone got it. There we go. We need to... one of these days I'm going to set up... I'll make a proper, like, time slot to set up a bunch of fun stuff to do with the emotes. Ah, gotcha. Well, under 8, you reverse Price is Right at it, Liam. Ha! Nice. Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys very much. I will be... Man, so Tuesday is when everything's going to drop. At least that's the plan. Again, I think I can make it. But, you know, even if, honestly, it probably will anyway, like in whatever state that it's in, because everything is like... Thankfully, this is not something like a release where, you know, stuff really has to be able to be released. With this, we can kind of just, like, turn it on, and anything that's, you know, not quite where we want it to be, I can just kind of address as the week goes on, or, like, as we continue. Y'all are too kind. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm just really excited for you guys to get to interact with all the stuff we've been working on. Obviously, I don't know, like, I would say that I'm just really, really stoked. Everyone's been working really, really hard on this stuff. I think it's evident if you see it. At least it is to me. And it's just, it's really cool to think that we've gotten to this point, right? I don't know. It's really rad. So thank you guys for all of your support. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're as excited as I am. Yeah, like Froggy Woggy, that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's like to just reflect on how far this project has come and kind of where it started and where it's gotten to is really a trip. And I just feel I am immensely humbled every day by the team, by you guys, just that anyone, you know, sees fit to spend their precious time on our project. So I really do appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will be in touch next week with all this cool stuff, right? Let's see. Ooh, what a jam. Let's see who's online. God, Rare does not miss, you know what I mean? All right, who do we got? Oh, we got Sakura. I'm afraid that what we did this time is going to happen again, where we're going to raid him, and then he's going to go offline. But honestly, that's not a big deal. I would say, all right, why don't we do, well, how about this? Let's do another random thing. We got Jupe. We got, oh, look, Jupiter's playing Bloodstain. Okay, how about let's do that? Bloodstain, Curse of the Moon. If y'all have not seen that, it's really incredible. I absolutely love that game. That's like the retro stretch goal from Kickstarter that has no business being as good as it is. Excuse me. Let's check it out. Also, Jupiter Climb is Jupiter. A mensch. All right, y'all. So again, thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I think I covered everything I wanted to. If I forgot anything, I'll just, you know, send you all a snail mail. And I'll see you on Tuesday, all right? Y'all, please take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. Maybe next time I see you, I'll have this giant booth, the Dylan fridge, as Lizzie puts it, set up. And it'll be cool. All right, take care, everybody. Goodbye.